Episode 1. Someone was already there. I've been locked inside a school after dark, but the scariest part wasn't being alone. I realized someone else wasn't. There are places that feel wrong when they're empty. Schools are one of them. During the day, they're loud, messy, alive. At night, they feel unfinished, like something stayed behind. I learned that the hard way. This happened the same year everything else did. I was in a band, not because I loved it, but because it was either that or choir. Our band teacher, Mr. Hale, ran things casually. If you showed up and did your weekly lessons, you passed. Near the end of one grading period, I realized I'd missed 2 lessons. My grade dropped. When I asked if there was anything I could do to fix it, he hesitated, then said, "You can practice during lunch. I'll count it as 1 lesson." He told me to use one of the storage rooms in the basement level. That alone should have made me nervous. The music basement was never used. Students didn't go down there. Teachers barely did. The lights flickered. The hallways were narrow, and the doors along the walls led to tiny rooms packed with old equipment, chairs, stands, broken instruments, plastic containers. I picked a room, shut the door, and set my instrument down. I didn't even start playing. I pulled out my phone and started killing time. That's when the light went out. Not flickered, not dimmed, off, complete darkness. I stood up fast and hit the light switch. Nothing. I opened the door. The hallway was pitch black. No exit signs. No emergency lights. Just silence. I held up my phone. The screen barely lit anything, but it was enough to see down the hallway. One of the storage room doors at the far end was open. I hadn't noticed it before. Something scraped against the floor. Slow, heavy, then breathing. Not normal breathing. Short, forced, almost excited. I stepped back into the room and shut the door quietly. I didn't know what I was hiding from, but every instinct told me not to be seen. I waited. The silence felt thick, like pressure in my ears. After what felt like forever, I cracked the door open again. I took 1 step into the hallway, then I heard it behind me. A shuffle, too close. I slipped into the next room without thinking and pulled the door shut. The space was barely bigger than a closet. I stood there in total darkness. That's when I felt it. That sensation you get when you know someone is near you, even if you can't hear them. My heart was pounding. I turned my phone screen on for half a second. That's all it took. Someone was standing in the corner, 3 feet away. Before I could move, a hand touched my shoulder. Not grabbing, testing. I yanked the door open and ran. I didn't stop until I reached the main level, where the lights were still on. I ran straight to Mr. Hale. Security checked the basement. They found equipment moved around, nothing else. No one. I tried to forget it. A few months later, I made a stupid decision. My friends and I decided to sneak back into the school at night. One of the basement windows was broken and never fixed. We waited until it was late. No security cars, no lights. We climbed in. The basement was exactly how I remembered it. Messy, dark, wrong. We split up. That was mistake number 1. I followed one friend upstairs. The school was completely dark, except for exit signs glowing red. We walked down the hallway. Every sound echoed. He went into the bathroom. I waited outside. After a minute, my phone rang. Another friend asked where I was. I told him. He went quiet, then said, "That's impossible. Everyone's with me." Before I could respond, I heard laughter from inside the bathroom stall. Not my friend's voice, something deeper. I looked up. Someone was standing on the toilet, watching me over the stall door. I ran. We escaped through the basement window. As we stood outside, catching our breath, someone appeared in one of the classroom windows, hands pressed against the glass, face half visible, watching. We didn't wait. We ran until we were off school property. None of us ever went back. Some places don't empty when people leave. I don't know if it was the same person. I don't know if it was more than one, but I know this. I was never alone down there. What do you think was in that school after hours? A thief or something worse? Let me know in the comments. Episode 2. I made friends that almost got me killed. The people who tried to drag me into the woods didn't chase me. They waited. They sat next to me at lunch and smiled. And when I thought it was over, someone was standing inside my bedroom. By junior year, being new wasn't just awkward, it was dangerous. Everyone already had their people. Everyone already knew who belonged where. I didn't. Lunch was the worst part of the day, not because of bullies, but because of watching. When you're new, you notice things other people don't, like how conversations pause when you walk by, or how eyes follow you longer than they should. That Friday, the cafeteria was packed. Every table was filled, except one, a table in the far corner. Two boys, identical. Same haircut, same posture, same expression. They weren't talking, just sitting there, waiting. I stood there too long before asking if I could sit. They looked at each other first, not confused, not surprised, like they were confirming something. Then one of them smiled and said, "Yeah, go ahead." They introduced themselves as Noah and Caleb, twins. Their voices were calm, too calm. They spoke slowly, took turns answering. When one talked, the other stared at me, unblinking. I told myself I was being paranoid. I wanted friends. By the end of lunch, they invited me out that night. "Just hanging out," Noah said. "Nothing crazy." Caleb added, "You should come. You don't seem like you know anyone yet." That sentence stuck with me. Not mean, just observant. I said yes. That night, Caleb texted me around 8:40. "Still good for tonight?" He sent a location pin. It was near the old cemetery in my neighborhood. I hesitated. Then I thought about eating lunch alone again on Monday, so I went. The walk was quiet, too quiet. Street lights stopped sooner than I expected. The air smelled damp, cold. When I reached the road near the cemetery, I texted them. "I'm here," Caleb replied instantly. "We're already inside. Just follow the trees. You'll hear us." I didn't hear anything. No voices, no laughter, just wind moving through branches. I stepped off the road. My phone light barely worked. Shadows moved where I didn't expect them to. I called their names. Nothing. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, careful. Behind me. I froze. A voice whispered, close to my ear, "Don't turn around." My stomach dropped. Hands grabbed my neck. Fingernails dug in. Sharp, deliberate. Another voice shouted, "Now!" I didn't scream. I fought. I twisted out of their grip and ran. Branches tore at my face. Footsteps followed me. Fast now. I hit the pavement and didn't stop running until I saw my house. My parents wanted to police. I wanted proof. The scratches on my neck were still bleeding. The school took it seriously. Texts, location pins, my statement. Both twins were expelled. Gone. I blocked their numbers. I thought that was the end. A week later, I woke up freezing. The wind brushed my face. My bedroom window was wide open. I knew it wasn't me. Below my window was a narrow ledge, something my dad once pointed out in case of fire. I closed the window and went to my parents' room. My mom said she hadn't opened it. My dad told me to go back to sleep. I left their door open. When I got back to my room, my bedroom door wasn't fully open anymore. It was halfway closed. I hadn't touched it. I pushed it slowly. Someone was standing behind it. I screamed. The door slammed shut. My dad ran in as the light came on. A figure jumped through my open window. The police came. No fingerprints, no cameras, nothing they could do. Nothing ever happened again. But I learned something. Some people don't want friends. They want access. And sometimes they don't stop when you say no. I still don't know how far this would have gone if I hadn't escaped. What do you think their real plan was? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Episode 3, The Night I Was Followed Home. I wasn't paranoid. Someone really was following me, and he didn't stop when I got home. I was 17 when this happened, old enough to think I could handle myself, young enough to be wrong. It started at the bus stop. I lived in a quiet neighborhood, the kind with long streets, spaced out houses, and no reason for anyone to be walking around after dark. That night I missed my usual bus, so I took the later one. When I got off, the street was empty. No cars, no porch lights, just wind and the sound of my footsteps. That's when I heard someone else walking, behind me. At first I thought I was imagining it. Then I slowed down. The footsteps slowed too. I sped up, they sped up. I didn't turn around. I told myself it was a coincidence. Halfway home, I glanced at a parked car's window. The reflection showed a man behind me, far enough to pretend he wasn't following, close enough that my chest tightened. He was tall, wearing a dark jacket, hands in his pockets, walking like he knew exactly where he was going. And that place was me. I turned a corner fast. So did he. That's when I knew. I crossed the street. He crossed too. My heart started pounding. I picked up my pace. He didn't rush. That was worse. When my house came into view, relief hit me so hard my legs almost gave out. I ran the last stretch, unlocked the door, got inside, locked it. I stood there listening, waiting for footsteps. Nothing. I laughed under my breath, trying to calm down. Then I heard it, a knock. Not loud, not aggressive. Careful, measured. I didn't answer. The knock came again. Then a voice, low, calm. I know you're in there. Every hair on my body stood up. I backed away from the door. My phone was in my hand, but I couldn't move. Then I heard something worse. The sound of my doorknob turning, slowly, testing it. I ran upstairs and locked myself in my room, heart slamming in my ears. Downstairs, I heard footsteps, inside my house, not rushing, exploring, opening drawers, pausing, like he was listening. I crept to my window and looked down. The front door was still closed, locked. He hadn't come through it. That's when I remembered the basement door, the one we never used, the one that didn't lock properly. A floorboard creaked beneath my bedroom. I froze. Then I heard breathing outside my door, slow, controlled. Someone pressed against it. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I held my breath. Minutes passed, then footsteps moved away. Down the stairs, the back door opened and closed. Police came later. They searched the house, found nothing missing, no fingerprints, no forced entry. They told me it was probably someone checking houses. They didn't hear the breathing. They didn't feel the door flex inward. They didn't stand frozen in the dark. realizing someone chose not to rush. I never took the late bus again. I never walked home with headphones on. And sometimes late at night, when the house is quiet, I still listen for footsteps that don't belong to me. I've always wondered one thing. Do you think he left because he got scared? Or because he was waiting for a better moment? Tell me what you think in the comments.